man. Shout out to everybody joining us tonight. This is Kandid Konvos. I'm your host, Quay Price. We got Chloe on deck. Say what's up to the people, Chloe.
Hey, everybody. Happy Wednesday.
Dang.
Happy Wednesday. It's hump day.
See, this is about to be that type of day. We're about to start it out with a happy Wednesday, huh?
That's what I'm talking about. Happy Wednesday. Halfway through. You know what to do.
Shout out to Kenyatta checking in. She said, hey, everyone, what's going on with you, Kenyatta? We appreciate you, as always, rocking with the platform. I said, definitely appreciate all the watchers and the listeners and the show sharers and the like button hitters. We appreciate all you guys. Oh, wait, hold on a sec. Hold on, they hit me up. Hold on. Let me do this real fast. All right. Shout out to Kenyatta. I said, appreciate you, sis. My guy Donovan in the building, checking in. Good evening, everyone. You know what, Donovan, man, he be hitting us with them distinguished hellos.
Good evening.
My man. I appreciate you. Listen, everybody watching us right now, do us a favor and hit that like button. We are definitely live right now on YouTube and right now on Facebook as well. So definitely hit that like button, hit that share button for us. Help us out with the algorithm. What else did I want to touch real fast? Oh, yeah, let me do this real quick while I'm thinking about it. Let me throw up the link to the panel. All right, so here's the link to the panel. You can definitely drop this in your Google Chrome, your Microsoft Edge, your Apple device, your Android device. And you can throw this in the browser and join us on the panel. Let's see, you do have the ability to cut your camera off if you choose, but we always encourage you to keep your camera on for a better show, better engagement. But like I said, you know, we want folks come up on the show. I said this might get a little deep tonight. But yeah, like I said, folks who come up on the panel, I said you can keep your camera off if you choose. Well, I said it just makes it easier. Plus, it saves y'all a little bit of typing. All right. So like I said, that's the link to the panel. We also have that in all of the chat feeds. So you can go over to the Kandid Konvos page on Facebook and get that link. Also on YouTube as well. Or as a backup, you shoot me a message or you can catch it on the Quay Price page on Facebook. And I'll shoot the message right to you, make it nice and easy. All right, we might be able to get straight into this one. I don't know if Vince is going to make it tonight. Shout out to my guy Vince if he's watching. I know he's a busy man lately, but shout out to him. It's my other panelist who's always here representing. I talked him up. My man Vince, what's going on, man?
How y'all doing this tonight?
Not bad, man. Not bad. How you doing, man?
Fine. I had to wind these kids down, man. Doing good, man. Doing good.
Understand.
Man, I was just telling folks, I'm like, I didn't know if you was gonna make it. Then you popped up. No, I ain't mad. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. Mm-hmm. Like I said, this topic tonight. Well, actually, we got two topics tonight. Yeah, we got two we're gonna hit tonight. Like I said, definitely number two, I definitely think is worthy of the conversation. Because it's getting a little hot out here, but we're gonna get into that one. Let me go ahead and drop this title. I said, then we're gonna get on into this show. So the topic for tonight, women refuse to see a man's value. We run that back. Topic for tonight, women refuse to see a man's value. All right, so we're gonna get on into this. I think somebody just that's Janisha shot me a message. She says she gonna slide in around 9 o'clock. So she's letting us know. She's gonna slide in around 9 o'clock. Okay, all right. So we're gonna get on into this. Of course, we got a video for context. As you guys know, these videos come my way. Listen, I think this one's definitely a worthy conversation because I got some questions. Yeah, I got some questions, but we're gonna get on into this. So let me know if you guys can't hear this when the video plays, and we will go from there.
We're not present. ever.
Same.
So when I talk about hyper independence, my dad did it as a way of saying, I want to ensure that my daughter is stable, but he was teaching me that as a trauma response to his previous experience.
Yep.
And you
Didn't
learned
like
that from your dad.
Right.
Fathers do that.
I
My
will
daddy
say
definitely
this.
taught
That's
me
what I wanted
not
to say.
need
'Cause I
no.
was everybody like mothers.
No,
That's
it's
the reason
not.
why you feel that
No,
way.
it's
My
not.
father taught me a lot.
Keita, black men actually enable the very thing that they hate.
Woo! Cause it's the truth. It's the honest to God truth.
Now, I'll go into detail with that, but we can talk about that later. I'm going to answer your question. What can we do to combat it? You don't have to assume a man is intimidated by you. Ain't nobody intimidated by your money. They intimidated by the attitude that comes with it.
I literally just
you
said
don't
that.
you don't have a need for a man because you're not making place for him in your life. Money ain't got nothing to do with the resources of a man, because other things are to be valued as far as provision. My dad taught me that.
Okay. I almost feel like I need to run that back.
Run it one more time.
Yeah, I might need to run that back one more time. Just to make sure. Let me run that back.
My dad was never not present. Ever.
Same.
So when I talk about hyper independence, my dad did it as a way of saying, I want to ensure that my daughter is stable, but he was teaching me that as a trauma response to his previous experience.
Yep.
And you
Didn't
learned
like
that from your dad.
Right.
Fathers do that. Cause
I
my
will
daddy
say
definitely
this.
taught
That's
me
what I wanted
not
to say.
need
'Cause I
no.
was everybody like mothers.
No,
That's the
it's
reason
not.
why you feel that
No,
way.
it's
My
not.
father taught me a lot.
Keita, black men actually enable the very thing that they hate.
Woo! Cause it's the truth. It's the honest to God truth.
Now, I'll go into detail with that, but we can talk about that later. I'm going to answer your question. What can we do to combat it? You don't have to assume a man is intimidated by you. Ain't nobody intimidated by your money. They intimidated by the attitude that comes with it.
I literally just said that.
You don't have a need for a man because you're not making place for him in your life. Money ain't got nothing to do with the resources of a man, because other things are to be valued as far as provision. My dad taught me
that. Topic for tonight: women refuse to see a man's value. Okay, so shout out to, I think that was tonight's conversation for the video tonight. Definitely check them out on YouTube and Instagram as well. Let's say they drop some good content over there, some good conversations. But yeah, you guys all heard the video. The young lady was speaking to the fact of, man, some things that her dad taught her. She made some other points as well. I got some notes over here, but I think this is a worthy conversation when we talk about the relationship dynamic between men and women. We talk about trauma. We talk about acknowledging value. So I think this is a worthy conversation. So I'm going to go to my panelists first. We're going to go to Chloe. We're going to go to Vince. What you guys see, what you like, what you didn't like. Was she on point? Was she not? Let's get into it. What y'all thinking?
I mean, first of all, I have to agree with her. I actually was told something similar by my father, who was present in my life. His statement was more like, if don't be out here fooling with these dudes. If he can't do at least what I can do for you, then you don't need him. You got me. Almost like don't be getting caught out here with a man. Like, if he can't do at least the minimum of what I can do for you, then you don't need him. You got me. And that's kind of the statement that my dad, made to me. So similar, I guess, in that sense, like, but not necessarily be self-sufficient. That's the thing. It wasn't that he was telling me to be self-sufficient. More, he was telling me, this is how I took it. I took it as he was telling me how to pick, to be selective. That's the way I took it. Now, maybe some people might interpret it completely different, but I interpret it as he was telling me to be selective. Because if a guy, couldn't actually provide for me or or do anything helpful for me, then why bother? So for me, I took it as he was telling me to set a standard. But yeah, I definitely got that cut off from my dad. So I agree with her that, you know, Black men do that. They do, at least in my experience, they do.
Huh. So. Okay, let me go to my guy Vince. Vince, what you thinking about that video, man? What you thinking?
I agree with some of it. Actually, I was having this conversation with a friend of mine who's a single dad. Ex-wife died very suddenly. So he's raising a 12 and a 14-year-old girls. He's a stay-at-home dad.
Okay.
He's committed to his life to raising his girls. It's very admirable, and we had this discussion that he doesn't want to teach them to be too independent. I guess that's how he put it. How can he balance it? Mm-hmm. And I think it's a slippery slope because, you know, we try not to parent out of fear, but we also have to realize that it is more Black women than Black men. The likelihood of them getting married to a provider male, you know, the stats don't say that it's going to happen. So you want to teach your daughters and your sons to be self-sufficient. And it was called independence. We're going to try to teach my daughter to be self-sufficient and a wife, to understand the value of a man, and she's going to see that through me. She's going to see how to be a wife through how her mother treats me. She's going to see the type of man she wants in a husband as how I treat my wife. But so many of us don't get that.
Right.
Like I told you, I didn't have my father in the home, so I didn't see a husband. All I saw was a strong woman, strong, independent Black woman. So, and she espoused that on my oldest daughter. I don't know if I ever told y'all one time. My daughter was fixing my plate, and my mother was at my house, and she told my daughter, "Don't be making his plate. I don't want you to be making no man's plate." And I had to check my mother. I'm like, "Look, if she should be making anybody's plate, it should be mine. The man take care of her." And then, you know, she put me to say, "Well, I don't want her to be." I said, "Well, we have to teach her to pick the right man to do that for."
Facts.
So I understand what the ladies are saying.
Okay. No, I feel that. Appreciate it. Let me get this comment real fast. Let's see. Donovan said, "I like how some throw the word intimidation around like men are afraid of women." Ooh. That's valid. No lies told. See, when in reality, we understand the lose-lose situation, and those who realize it decide not to even be bothered with it. Man. No lies told. You muted.
Sorry, y'all. Yeah, I mean, I see, for me, I always think it's funny because that's a big, like, we have a lot of one-liners that get dropped and passed around and used a lot when we start talking about relationships. Things like, you know, men are not emotionally intelligent, or, you know, men are toxic or narcissistic, or I submit to a man. I don't have a problem submitting, you know, to the right man. Or, you know, submission. Like, I'm not trying to be nobody's slave. Y'all trying to take me back to the 1940s. Like, they was. Like, I be want to sometimes ask people, like, you need a history lesson? But anyway, I think it's funny how we say these things, and women often will say, when you ask them, well, why aren't you with a guy, or, you know, what's wrong? Why are you dating? Like, you know, when's your last relationship? Or then they'll start to make excuses and they'll say, oh, I just think men are intimidated by me. And it's like, what do you have going on in your life that you seriously believe a man would be intimidated by? Because please don't tell me it's your money. Because there are some sisters out here that are getting it, and I give them props. But men are still out earning women in general. So I don't know where we got this idea that women are just out here making so much more money than their male counterparts. I just don't know where we got this from. And why would you think he would care enough to be intimidated by it? Like
Right.
your money, if you're meeting him and you're established and he's established, your money is your money. You know, Vince has already explained that to us before. So what's the intimidation factor for? What? Because it's not going to matter to him. So I think it's weird. I don't really understand it. It's goofy, as they say, because ain't no man intimidated by you. Like she said, it's your attitude. A lot of us women, we don't want to cop to the fact that when we start earning our own money, especially if we're making good money as women, it gives us this attitude. It gives us this air. Like, you know, it gives us this energy. You know, we start getting swollen in our chest. Like, it's weird. Like, a man can go out and make hundreds of thousands of dollars and won't act like that. But women, let us get our hands on a little bit of bread, and all of a sudden, you can't tell us nothing. You can't tell us anything. It's the attitude. It's the energy that comes along with it. It's like for us, you know, money makes us feel powerful, and we don't know how to manage it. And I think it's because, unpopular opinion alert, I think it's because we're not supposed to be in those positions. We're not supposed to be in a position where we're holding a lot of money, because it does something different to us than what it does for men. And I don't know if it's because men already kind of go into the mindset of they're not just earning for themselves. They know that they're going to be providing for someone or something at some point. So their motivation is different, I think. And their mindset is just different about the money. So I just feel like I just feel like a different energy. Women, we make money, we just have a completely different energy than men when they make money. And we love to spend. We love to spend it up. And we can make good money. And the problem with us is we can make really good money and still be living like waiting for the next check to come.
Yeah,
because
let me touch this.
So we're bad with our money. I guess what I'm trying to say is it's just evidence of the fact that as women, we don't always know how to manage money. Yet we are very quick to tell a man what he needs to have and how successful financially he needs to be. And then we'll turn around every time we get a dime or a dollar and we'll try to lord it over him. And it's just backwards.
Yeah, let me touch this one real quick. Then I'm gonna circle us back. I think we see a lot of that attitude that we're talking about right now, because there is a unspoken competition between men and women. Yeah, but that's really what it is. It's competition. And some of our ladies today feel like once they achieve a certain amount of money that surpasses a man, somehow they beat that man. Yeah, and that is why typically you will see some examples of some young ladies hold that over a man's head, i.e., a man is intimidated by my success. Yeah, let me put this to bed today since we on this show. Ladies, ain't no man intimidated by your success. Yeah, let me go ahead and lay that out. Point 2, ladies, ain't no man intimidated by your money. Yeah, because at the end of the day, he ain't about to be able to spend none of it. So why would he care? So we got to go ahead and let that narrative go. The dudes are not intimidated. Now, what they have a problem with is that attitude. That attitude, that air, that that whole thing. Dudes ain't got time for that. Yeah, but that is what they will bypass to Donovan's point. That is what they will decide not to bother with, is that attitude. Yeah, that old fake temporary swole chest and walking around like you doing something. Dudes ain't got time for that. So yeah, we need to change that narrative. It's not intimidation. It's a guy making a choice if he wants to deal with that nonsense that comes along with that or not. Donovan dropped a comment. He said, I agree, Quay. Money equates to power, but put a fool in control with power and the ship sinks. And that's exactly right, Donovan. That's exactly right. We see these situations, where folks acquire this money and, they got a boatload of debt, $80,000 in student loan debt, $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 in credit card debt. And it's like when you start thinking about it, that money ain't really doing what you thought it was going to do. Because at the end of the day, you ain't managing that whole process right. Better yet, you ain't prioritizing right. Yeah, so let me just put that to bed. The fellas are not intimidated. And for anybody who's still out here trying to sell that narrative, let it go. If the fellas ain't intimidated by your money or your success, yeah, at the end of the day, especially if you sharing that money, that fella's looking like, go get it. Bring that on into the pot. Take some pressure up off of these bills and whatever else going on up in here. That's how he looking at it. Trust and believe, he ain't intimidated by it. But that's not the mindset that a lot of these, some of these ladies that we see are in. Yeah, they want to go get it, but they ain't trying to share it. Yeah, but that's the difference. And then two, I'm gonna say this real quick, and then I'm gonna circle us back to the video. The other thing that you got to consider, and this is just to the ladies, the other thing that you have to consider is when the money and the titles cause you to sway away from your natural role, that's where your problem comes in.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
See, that's the difference. See, fellas can't do that. See, the expectation for fellas is he got to go to work or he got to generate the money, however he does it. He still got to come home. He still got to fix the door. You got to kill the spiders. You got to get your brakes done. You got to get your oil changed. Got to gas you up. He got to pay the bills. He got to do this. He got to do that. That stuff does not go away from men. But see, what we see on the other side is, when some of our women generate the money and get the titles and so forth, then they want to exit their portion of the responsibilities in the house. And see, that's where the problem come in. Then now it's, I don't want to cook and clean. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. But yet we still want that man to hold all of his weight along with making that check. So yeah, we got to keep it a buck. But yeah, let that intimidation go. These fellas ain't intimidated by your money. You want to say something, Chloe? You good?
I was just going to say unpopular opinion again. I really don't, whatever. At this point, I really hope that people, and when I speak, I'm mostly speaking to women in this sense, but I hope that you hear my heart when I say stuff like this, because it's not coming from a place of like judgment. But it's coming from a place of like, hey, I see it myself. I can literally look at my own example and I can see it. And when I say stuff like women just shouldn't be in these positions where they crack the ceiling at a certain amount of success, aka money, because that's how we measure success these days. It's out of order. That's not really how we should be measuring success, but that's typically how we do. So because of that, when women crack that ceiling and are able to break through that ceiling and reach that level of success, especially where they achieve past, a male or men, it tends to take their focus, like you said, away from their own nature. And I think what ends up happening then is women will begin to struggle with the things that they're supposed to be naturally capable of doing. And those things will start to suffer. So if they're a woman if they're a single woman and she's doing her thing, hey, do your thing. But if you're a woman who, has children or is married, that can be problematic because then you start to see a woman say, well, why should I have to do this or why should I have to do that? I work just like he does. And it's like, that's true, you do. And kudos for that, because it's not easy being a working mom. Like, but that's the point. The point is, it's not easy being a working mom. I know this because I've been a working mom. So when I say stuff like, I feel like women should understand that where I'm coming from is there's no way you can do both roles flawlessly. It's not going to happen. It's just not. And I'm saying this from personal experience. Like, it's not. We can cap all we want to. There's great working moms out there, outstanding working moms, but you cannot do both. You cannot do both at the same level. Something is going to suffer. And if we are honest, when we reach a certain level in our careers, we're not going to let it be our careers. We are not. We are not. And that's the thing we don't want to say, right? As women, we don't want to say that. But the truth is, it's not going to be our career. Because that's how I pay bills, and this is what allows me to live this lifestyle, and this. And when my kids, my kids will appreciate having this and having that. And if I don't do this or if I don't do that, they won't be able to have these things, or won't be able to do this, and that's the mindset that we have. And listen, I get it. I've been there totally. Everything. I said all those things. I said all those same things. And I'm just simply saying that it matters. It matters at the end of the day. Like, I literally saw a statistic the other day that said that once you factor in, it was a woman doing a video, she was sharing the statistics, and she's like, once you factor in the life of a busy parent and how they have to work and, daycare and this and that, when you tally it up at the end of the week, a parent actually ends up getting less than an hour of one-on-one time, like with their kids, like time where they actually are spending face-to-face time doing something with their kids or spending time with their kids. And I'm just like, that's the reality of it. Now, what does that mean? That doesn't mean that I'm saying that everybody should just up and quit their job. That's ridiculous. We can't do that. But what am I saying? I'm saying that we have to realize that this is a real issue. So women running around here saying, this is important to me and my success in my career and this, and this. And I understand. I feel you, baby. And if you got to work. But just understand that while you out here competing at a level that won't allow you to probably own the role that really was your principal God-given role, is, that some of the more important things are suffering. And yeah, I agree with you, Kenyatta. The problem is, I think we struggle to find that balance. I would agree with you. But how do you do that? Like, this is a question this is honestly a question that I can't answer. Like, how do you find that balance, and what does it look like? Like, and maybe for each person it's gonna look different. It probably will, because all our life situations are different. So it's gonna look different. But I'll be honest, the question we need to ask, each of us that we need to ask ourselves is, do we really care enough to figure out that balance? Or are we just okay with what it is, and we're just going to keep doing what we do because it's what makes us comfortable?
Yeah. So let me get this comment, then let's tie us back in. See, Kenyatta said, I watched a video earlier where a lady was saying if she has to give to 50%, let's see, then they're roommates. She can take care of the children and cook. See, he can take care of the children and cook dinner. I was like, damn, that's how you see the relationship / marriage. You know what, Kenyatta? See, this for me, this is more that picking and choosing. If I need a young lady out here, I see somebody sitting up here sipping on something. I need a young lady. I need a young lady to explain this to me. I'm gonna put it. You know what? Let me go ahead, Janice. This question gonna be for you. Welcome to the panel. Welcome to the panel.
Hey, can I tell Chloe her shirt is really cute?
Oh, thanks, girl. I promise y'all I'm wearing something. You just can't see it. I know, but I'm wearing a shirt. It is a shirt. It's a full shirt. I promise. I'm not naked. Okay? Yeah.
So I'm gonna direct this question at Janice. I know she's gonna keep it real. So this my question, Janice. This is my question. So okay, I'm gonna put it to you like this. Guy's making 150,000. Woman is making 90,000, 100,000. I'll give her 100,000. So he making 150, she making 100. He said he want to go half on the bills. So he want her to put in on the bills just like he put in on the bills. Why is it that when that lady has to put in on the bills, then she will then say something like he can take care of the children and cook dinner? Why does that happen? If a lady has to, or if she has to contribute to the bills at a 50% or at a high percentage, if you will, put it that way.
Well, I mean, maybe I didn't drink it. This is beer, not wine tonight, okay? Because that wine got me last time. I apologize to everybody. Vince, I'm sorry. I don't even know what happened last week. So I got my low calorie wine. I mean beer. So listen. I don't understand your question. You saying if a woman got to pay 50%, why does she expect the man to do 50% of the work?
Let me rephrase.
Pretty much.
So
I don't get the question.
So okay. So lately I've been seeing ladies say, if a man wants to be in a 50-50 relationship, which let's say they're relating that to the bills. If a man wants to be in a 50-50 relationship, then she feels like everything should be 50-50. So he should be doing half the cooking. He should be doing half the cleaning. He should be helping take care of the kids half the time. She want to split everything 50-50. What you think about that? Give me your perspective on that.
She said cooking and cleaning.
But the man is asking for 50-50, right?
Financially.
He's saying put in half on the bills.
I'm not dating no man that asks for 50-50 anyway. But that's not even about to happen. I'm not even gonna do that. That's just how I was raised. But I can't do it. You're not gonna come off the back and just be like, we can do it 50-50. That's not gonna happen. But it makes sense. If you're gonna ask me for 50-50, yeah, it's why. I mean, yeah, it would make sense, right? I don't get it. Like, I don't get what the issue would be. If a man is asking you to go half on providing of his part of the job, then he should go half on your part of providing too. Yeah, I don't get it. Balance. What did she say? People need to find a balance. There's a balance right there.
However, here's a tidbit though. If we split everything down the middle like that, we're going to keep it respective on both sides. His responsibilities aren't just financial. So his responsibilities don't end just with his paycheck, right? As the man of the house, there's other things that the man of the house also does, right? Like she's saying, okay, I'm paying half of the bills, and then my stuff like taking care of the kids, cooking, I want you to chip in and do that. Okay, so then is she also going to chip in on his side for his male-led responsibilities that he has to be responsible for on top of his financial contribution? Because men
what is a typical male's responsibilities?
Everything that the woman don't want to do. You already know,
like cut the grass on a Saturday.
Everything. So we know what men do. Everything that a man does that a woman don't want to do and won't be bothered with, and she say, you do this, you do it, you do it, you do it, you do it. So those things, all of those things that he has to do that come on top of him financially providing for the family, because we're not gonna act like the man's only thing he does is just cut a check. We're not gonna act like that, because if he's the right kind of man, if he's the right kind of man, he don't just cut a check. He don't just cut a check. He got stuff he got to do around the house. He got stuff he got to do for you, cars and this and that. And a man does that too, right? So if he 50% financial contributes to things and also does whatever his male duties are around the house, she contributes 50%, and then she has her female responsibilities. Okay, so if he's coming in to help assist with the female responsibilities, does she then come in to help assist with the male responsibilities?
No.
I mean, a man will never, no matter what, we can say a man will never do as much as a woman does. That's just what I feel. Personal, like even we can say cutting the grass, we can say taking the trash out. The trash don't come every day in most places. The grass, men don't cut the grass every day. Like those things aren't daily, weekly things. Women on the daily, my dad did this stuff. My house was 50-50 in the sense of providing, but my dad paid the rent. He paid all the basic bills, right? But my mom was probably the one with the homework, on the daily basis, the tutoring, the nurturing aspect. It's not saying my dad wasn't there, but the woman, I feel like women on the daily still are going to do a little bit more. I'm not saying men don't do a lot, but a lot of men don't do the more nurturing aspect of the homeworks or the going up to the schools and PTAs and all the extra stuff that women are doing, joining the volunteer at the schools, which I don't need you to do that. I can do it myself as the woman, but men don't do this on a daily. To me personally, it's not saying I'm not. Yeah, but they don't do it daily. You can't say the car but you can't say the car get cleaned every day. Like, come on, the car gets cleaned every other Saturday.
But this is what I'm saying. Okay, but this is what I'm saying. This is why you can't find a balance, because we're always going to be competing. At the end of the day, does it have to be? I did 8. I'm responsible for doing 8 things. You only responsible for doing 6.
When you do 50-50,
but I'm responsible for doing 10, but it's never 50-50. So we gotta
exactly.
It's never.
That's 50-50. My point.
It's never going to be 50-50. Even if he does help out with the cooking or help out with the kids, it's still never going to be 50-50. And that's not even what we're supposed to be striving for. We're not.
I agree.
That's not balance. 50-50 is actually the worst possible way to try to find balance, because we'll always be trying to strive for something that just won't even ever happen. We have to remember that the reason why the man has certain responsibilities is, let's just be 100% honest, we don't want them. We don't want to do the things that men do. We don't want to. We do them if we have to, but we don't want to.
And that's vice versa.
So, right. So what's wrong with us owning our roles? Like, I don't get it. Like, we're trying to, and I'm not talking about you, but we're trying to fight for a reason for men to have to step outside of their nature to help us do things, when the truth is we don't really actually want to do the stuff that they have to do. We ask for equality, but that's not really what we want. We don't want to be equal to men because we really don't actually truly want to do what they do. We just want to be looked at the same way. We just want to be able to compete. We just want to be looked at on the same level. But when it comes down to brass tacks, we don't really want to do what they do. So then we start saying stuff like, well, but I do this and I do this and I do this. And it's like, okay, but his tasks are typically manual labor. We don't want to be outside when it's 90 degrees cutting the grass, even if it is once a week. We don't want to do that. We don't want to have to get under the car and change the oil, even if it is only every 3 months or 4 months, whatever it is. We don't want to do that. Let's just be honest. But we like, oh, he should want to cook. He should want to clean. He should want to be with the kids. He should want to, right? Because we spend the bills 50-50. We spend the financial responsibility 50-50. So he should want to do those other things too. I mean, I just think we're not being realistic. Like that's not balance. That's just more competition.
I agree. I'm not. That's why the 50-50. I can't. A man comes to me with 50-50 when it comes to money. It's just not gonna work.
But then I think that this society has lied to women and made them value their education and their career over being a mother and a wife. I know so many women that I dated, they didn't really they had kids, but and this is just my opinion, they didn't really want to be a mother. They don't really want to be a wife. They want to be this quasi partner, friend, business partner type thing. But then they really don't want to, because if we're going to be equal, let's be equal across the board. And women don't want to do it. Women don't want to marry a man and take care of him. They don't. Men do it all the time. So that's not equal. A woman still wants hypergamy. So my thing is that's why I teach my younger kids to get with somebody sooner in life before you have all these bills, all these responsibilities, because that brings a challenge upon a relationship. Because, I mean, in all actuality, if you're 47 years old, 50-50 is good. Because he bring himself, usually a woman is bringing her kids. So if you find 50-50, that's pretty good. I mean, you trying to get more than that. I mean, that's like me trying to get a 20-year-old. I mean, 50-50 is good because you bring him out to the situation. All he bringing is himself. So he got to go in there, buy a $500,000 house for you and your kids. His kids ain't in the house. His kids don't have no room in that house 70% of the time. His kids come over there every now and again. Your kids is there. Your bills is there. You got all these bills that you got before we got together. But you want me to come in and pay over 50%. The question is, so what you gonna do for that? You gotta come cooking every day, cleaning every day. And
no, I ain't gonna do that. I ain't gonna do that.
And that's the problem that the ladies have. It really is.
You gonna take care of these babies.
I think if you want this type of situation, people need to get it early before they have somebody else's kids, before they have somebody else's bills, so y'all can build together. And he taking care of his kids. They just keep it 100. I'm all about keeping it 100. You gotta look at yourself as, if I want a man to do this, what am I gonna do? And it can't be all this attitude. Well, I ain't gonna cook. Somebody's got the nerve to tell me I ain't gonna be cooking and cleaning. What else you gonna do for this type of life? But see, women they want to say, "Oh well, I'm working just like you is, but you ain't paying just like I am." Now, if y'all paying just like you is, then it maybe it could work. But then also, it's a respect thing that goes with that. And I'm gonna keep it 100. I know I get this much respect because of them zeros. Because I've been the same person. I've been nice. I've been this. I've been that. But them zeros matter. But then it's like, what you gonna do to get them zeros though? It can't be, well, I'm not gonna be cooking. I'm not gonna be picking up after no man. I ain't gonna be. But you want more than 50% though. Not you, Johnny's, because I hear this all the time. You know, well, I gotta do 50-50, but it ain't 50-50. It's more the woman's way. Because you got more the baggage a lot of time.
Johnny's ain't got nothing to do with this. I just said I ain't doing 50-50 on nothing with any man. I wasn't raised that way. I'm not doing it. I cook, I clean, I do all that stuff. I'm very hands-on mother. So I don't need all that from a man. You know, I'm great at that. I got the great foundation from my mother and father. I'm excellent as a mother. But when it comes to bills, I personally am not dating a man that comes all talking about 50-50. That's why I date government. That's why I date government employees or retired government men.
But let me ask you a question.
Talking all this.
But let me ask you a question. But my question to that would be, and then we're gonna move on. Paying 100% now. So 50% would actually be great, wouldn't it?
Technically, if a woman has a job, me personally, I was raised, he's never gonna pay 100%. Like, I'm still gonna pay summer camps. I'm still paying for groceries. I'm paying my cell phone bill. I don't mind paying the electric. Like, I'll pay all those things that still gives him money in his pocket. Like, I'm okay with that. You get what I'm saying? But just don't come at me talking about 50-50 on some bills. I'm just not that woman. That's all.
Got it.
Okay. All right. We got it. So let me ask this last question, and we're going to pivot. I got another topic we got to get into. So I got a question for you. Last question for you, Janice.
Oh, Lord. I forget my mute ain't on. Go ahead.
This the last one, because I got beer over here too. So we about to go there tonight.
You got the low carb? Because Chloe was talking about low carbs. This is low carb.
This
y'all drinking the same beer.
This is the Modelo right here.
I like Modelo too.
For sure. So my last question, and I'm gonna move on to the next topic. Is you about to get out there and cut that grass, Johnny?
If I got a husband?
Yeah.
And we're not doing 50-50, right? He's
No,
paying for right?
You ain't cutting no dang old grass.
If we ain't doing 50-50, yeah, he got to be out there cutting the grass. I don't get it. Like,
okay, so if y'all is or y'all ain't, is you about to get out there and cut that grass?
what? Cut the grass? I'll hire somebody. I'll take my check and we'll hire somebody.
See what I'm saying?
There we go. It balances, right, Vince? Does that balance it? Vince.
You don't want to hear my.
I'll pay the lawnmower man.
Oh my God.
Vince, come on now. I'll pay the lawnmower man. That don't even come out your check.
Hilarious.
Vince ain't saying nothing. Vince ain't saying nothing tonight. Man, let me move over into the second topic. And my guy Donovan said conditions. You know, Donovan, you heard it, man. I said Janice, she was dancing around it a little bit, but I'm gonna give her a pass. So I got a second topic I want to touch. What time is it? About 9:25. We all right. I got a second topic I want to touch that plays into this a little bit, plays into what we're talking about right now a little bit, but it goes a little deeper. This video is a couple minutes, so bear with the video. But we need to have this conversation, so just bear with the video. It's a couple minutes. I said, everybody watching us right now, don't forget to hit that like button. Just comment real quick. Let's see. Donovan said, if you take your check and hire a lawnmower man, that's 50.
See?
Let me kick this video off, man. We're gonna get on into this second topic. Actually, let me flip it. I'm over here slipping. All right, second topic. Ladies, just you isn't enough. Run that back. Topic number 2. Ladies, just you isn't enough. All right, bear with this video, y'all. Bear with the video. It's a couple minutes.
Several ex-boyfriends the last few weeks killing ex-girlfriends. Our queens are in trouble. The crazy thing about that is they're in trouble at the hands of obviously a generation of weak men. We can't keep running from it. We can't keep hiding from it. And it seems every time, we kind of talk, get together, there's a common denominator. The men are weak, and we've done y'all an injustice. But to show their true weakness, what we've done is this. We've even said to hell with our children. A woman deciding or y'all deciding that y'all not gonna be together, we gotta kill her. We gotta fight her. We gotta harass her. We gotta do all this kind of stuff. The emotional instability of the men, it's at the forefront. We see it every day. Now, what I'm going to suggest, though, because we are weak, we've been weakened some kind of way, but the men are the dominant ones in the roles of these young people growing up, and they become weak men. They're weak boys, and they become weak men. Queens, happy belated Mother's Day to you. We love you. We appreciate you. You've been a soul. You've been a spirit. You've been everything that we've needed in our community, but you're not enough. At some point, fellas, once a boy gets 6 or 7 years old, and nobody want to talk about this. Once a boy gets 6 or 7 years old, really, it ain't too much his mother can do for him after that stage. She can nurse him, she can love on him and all that. He needs her, no question about it. Lord knows I needed mine and my grandmothers and aunties. But the dad has to be at the forefront of the nurturing and the raising of this boy. We've taken a strong voice out of the household, and I understand. I get it. We got money, right? Our ladies, our queens, y'all doing y'all thing. I'm proud of y'all. But buying y'all children food and buying them clothes and providing a roof is not enough to rear a child. Now, that may be a news flash, and I know some of us have tucked our head in the damn sand and said, I'm going to act like I don't see what I see, even in your own household, even with your own boys. Y'all act like it's not there, but y'all see it, and y'all see that y'all sons are weak as hell, too. So we got to do something about it. You know, as a community, we got to go get us some counseling, right? And if we're comfortable enough with our children being the way they are, if we're comfortable enough with these boys killing our women and killing people and being so emotionally unstable, if we continue to do this, then we won't have a community. We ain't gonna have nothing to talk about. And I know we think that we could do it on its own, and I know the mindset is, oh no, I can do it, I can do it. We almost to a point now where our women believe almost that, shit, y'all can have a baby by yourselves. Well, this ain't it. This ain't it. We got to do something. We got to do something quick. My man, little bro, Drake Wilkins, addressed me the other day. And Drake, I ain't forgot about it, man. I was looking at it. It was so sad. I cried when I heard about the young nurse. I cried. So listen, man, somebody got to do something. Somebody got to be the ones that spearhead it. And it's the crazy thing about it. I need some of you queens to step up and say, you know what? We're going to do something differently. That's going to, and part of doing something differently is going to have to help educate us. It's going to have to help, y'all going to have to help us become better. Because right now we're terrible as men and it's costing the whole community. So what are we going to do? We're going to continue to move like this and act like we don't see it? We're going to continue to back our cars into the garage because we living well and we're going to act like we don't see it until it happens to us. Until it happens to your daughter. Now we want somebody to do something about it. Until your son is in prison. I'm tired of hearing these mothers wail at these crime scenes. I'm tired of hearing them wail. I'm tired of seeing them go to the morgue and wailing. I'm tired of y'all going to the courtroom. Listen, y'all, this ain't it. We got to do something better. Men, let's come together, man. Let's come together. We're going to have a forum in the next 2 to 3 weeks, and it's males only. And it's time to put our foot down. And we got to walk through the community and snatch out all the weak men. Then by all means, damn it, that's what's got to happen. But I will say this to you post Mother's Day. Mama, choose better men to have children with. Mother, choose better men to have children with, because the weakening of the males has destroyed the family. And your money and your education ain't going to restore it. Listen to me. Your money and your education will not restore the family. It's going to help it. And Lord knows we need money and education and professionalism to sustain itself. But the male voice is the structure, is the foundation, is the discipline within the family, within the household. And without it, we're going to keep burying y'all. Think about it. I love you.
All right. Let me, can't get that off of there. All right. Okay. Oh, that's what happened. I was wondering. Okay. All right. So, yeah, I wanted to touch this second topic. Ladies, you, or just you, isn't enough. So, yeah, so we've been having some stuff going on around here. Some young ladies in some situations with some fellas. Let me get this comment. Let's see. Donovan said, man, lacking the teaching. Well, hold on.
Some feedback.
It's coming from your side, Janice.
Is it me?
Yeah, it's like background noise. I'm just, yeah, okay. Let's see. Donovan said, man, lacking the teaching and demonstrating of accountability life skills is a direct result of this BS. Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. You want to say something, Janice? Go ahead.
Yeah, I have a question. I don't know if Chloe might have looked this up, because I was looking at it while he was talking statistics, like homicides and years, so it shows the Federal Bureau of FBI, they study this stuff. So during I don't know if you guys been watching the Tupac, the special on Tupac, that era. So that's the drug era, after crack comes in, and then the homicides, it shows the homicides for women getting killed went up during that era. When the crack cocaine came in, then that era with Tupac and Biggie, women were getting killed like crazy up until it started going down. And then it went back up in 2016 for some reason. I don't know why it went back up, I don't know. So it's kind of hard to just say it's because of this or that. We can kind of define that era. Like, okay, we know crack cocaine and all that stuff drugs was like such a big issue during that. What was it, 1989 to all the way to like the 90s? Like that was a big issue. So I can see why women were being killed by men. But then it goes down. And then in 2016, it goes back up. It shows statistically. So I would have to understand like what happened in 2016 or in America that increased the numbers in men again going back and killing women. You know, I don't know. It could be the breakdown. Maybe I don't know what year women started really. Oh, he says fentanyl. Well, opioid fentanyl is a new trend too. Okay.
Yeah, it's true. That's true. I think for me, like, I definitely see. I think that is what he's saying. The only reason. No, I don't think that, but I do think that it does play a big part in it because if we think about what we see going on, at least from my own personal POV, I can definitely see that there is something going on with our young men and our young women, but the way that it is affecting our young men, they are very emotional. They struggle with regulating their emotions. They struggle with, there is a lot more men now that we notice are struggling with their mental health. Like we can really see that this is increasing. So I do believe that there is merit to his argument that this is definitely that men being overly emotional is a symptom of this. Like I really do believe. I don't think it's the only factor, but I can definitely see how it's playing a part. I just read in our local paper in our city that maybe like a couple weeks ago, these were 40-year-olds. And this man and woman, I guess they had broken up. They were no longer together. And she goes to a hotel with her new boyfriend. They're in their 40s. This man was like 40. Her ex was something like 47 years old. So like they weren't like young kids. And he tracks her down at this hotel with her ex-boyfriend and shoots them both. She ends up dying from her wounds. And the new boyfriend was in stable condition the last that I got. But it's like this is what's happening now. These are grown people, right? But this is what we're seeing. What happened to the us being able to regulate our emotions? What happened with us knowing, the difference between right and wrong and understanding boundaries and knowing when enough is enough and being able to recognize when we're in over our head, when we're overwhelmed and being able to manage stress or manage rejection even. Like men are struggling dealing with being rejected. They're struggling with being told no. Like, where is this coming from? And so we do have to look into it. Like we really have to take a look at where is this coming from? I'm not saying that we don't see things manifesting in women, we do, but just talking about this subject matter of what we see in our young men, I can definitely attest to seeing these things and wondering myself, like, what is going on with the fact that our men are super emotional now and just don't even know how to regulate their emotions. And obviously, we're not talking about every male child that's being born, but we're talking about, I'm seeing overall in general, definitely men who are struggling with emotional intelligence and definitely men who are struggling with regulating their emotions. So I don't know. I think it's a conversation that has to be had. I would love to hear what, you guys, the men on the panel have to say.
You want to say anything, Vince? Let me go, man.
Well, first of all, our boys are not as strong as they need to be. Most of our boys are predominantly raised by their women. That's just a fact. That's just a fact we got to realize. That's a fact. They weak. They don't know the value of hard work. They don't want to work hard. They want to sit around and play video games all day and think they're going to be Ja Morant or Michael Jordan or somebody. But they don't want to go out there and work hard. They see, and even with my own son, we have these conversations all the time. I said, because I wasn't around every day, you see the world through the eyes of your mother. And that's not good for a black man. Because women in general get passes that men don't get in general, especially black men. So they grow up over emotional, not understanding their true value to get out there and work for it, that it's all your fault, that you're going to be responsible because they got their mama to take care of them. And the second point I want to make is that we have to teach our young ladies to vet these men. A lot of these situations, if you talk to about the relationships, because the lady said that they had been in a long-term relationship, the guy had been to prison a couple times. They had a volatile, toxic relationship. So we have to teach our young ladies. You got to do some Google on these men and see where they come from before you open your legs to them. I'm not blaming the victim, but we have to get some background on these people and see what's really going on. And I think we had this discussion a few podcasts ago. I said after these boys is 5, give them to their daddies. I don't care what, if their daddy ain't on crack, if their daddy's struggling like you, give them to their daddies, and let's see how it work out. That's I've been saying that for a year now. Well, I couldn't. Well, they not really getting no better with you raising them. To depend on you all, but then the girls is different though. The girls is more manly than the men. They're getting their own apartments and going to school and getting that, and the sons is still there though with their mama. Don't know what to do. Can't go out there and get a little hustle cutting the grass. Perfect example. I got 2 boys, 2 stepsons now. I said, why don't y'all get out there and hustle and shovel some snow? Shovel some snow? What? Shovel some snow? Where do they do that at?
Oh man.
Rake some leaves.
Say they don't even know.
Don't have no hustle in them. Not none. I come in later. I'm trying to do what I can do, but I mean,
yeah, that's uphill right there. That's uphill.
Mm-hmm.
Let me say this. Actually, go a comment. Let's see. Donovan said there's a lack of consequences and corrective action for underachievers. Yeah, no, that's facts. That's facts right there, Donovan. Let me say this. I said shout out to the brother for the video. So I came across that video earlier. I was actually going back and forth with a good buddy around that video. But can we consider this? Can we consider that a lot of these weak boys are coming out of single mother-led households? Like, can we consider that? Yeah, just keeping it a buck. Can we consider?
Did he freeze?
I think he froze.
All right.
There you go. He back. He back.
Yeah, I said let it do what it's about to do. I saw it going down. I was like, here we go. Let's see. Donovan said yes. Yeah, no, and what I mean by that is, like I said, this is not to point a finger, right? Because we done pointed enough fingers. It's not a finger point.
Yeah.
But I'm going based on my man's video, and I think there's some validity to what that brother is saying. Yeah, when we talk about all of these emotional fellas out here, I already know where that's coming from. Yep, that ain't coming from no masculine man. I already know where that emotion and that struggling to control emotion and that old snappy mouth and that smart mouth and all that, I know where that's coming from. So can we at least consider that there may be some validity to what that brother is saying? Yep, can we consider that we are commingling or procreating with dudes that we probably shouldn't be procreating with and dissolving relationships. Can we consider that? Consider that we are not properly vetting, which starts us out with an unstable relationship that affects our kids. Can we consider that? Like, I don't even think we got to go the stats route with this particular topic, because I mean, we see the outcomes. Yeah, we already see the outcomes. Yeah, but like I said, this is not a finger point. Like my man said, ladies, fellas, we both got to come to the table on this one, because this is a problem. Yep, and that some of the things that my man was saying, I've witnessed these things. If I've witnessed some of the young ladies saying after, you know, they dissolve the relationship with the man, saying that I can do this by myself. I got it. I don't need him. You know, I don't need his little bit of child support. That ain't doing nothing. And they go into it solo. But then at the same time, some of these unstable fellas that are coming out of this thing, they originated from those homes. Yep, and then they come out into the world and they have unfavorable interactions with young ladies, and then we end up seeing these stories that we, you know, recently seen where, you know, the guy, he came back and you know, put harm on the young lady, the nurse, and took her life. So I'm like, can we at least consider that maybe we really got to prioritize the relationships that we are getting into and the kids that we are having with who? Like, can we at least consider that? Because I know we will also go back and say, well, oh, you know, we great co-parents, but there's still a void because the unit is broken at that point. You off here, he off there. There's still a void, and there's still a chance that plays a part in something that does not work out successfully for that kid. And so, can we at least consider that? Go ahead. You want to say something, Johnny's?
Well, because I watch the news, I look at statistics, and I've been kind of worried about this for women because there's always women need men. Men are security, right? There's bad and there's good men in this earth, and it's always been this way since the day of time.
Right.
So I've been thinking about this. I said, if women, since we're becoming so independent and we're climbing the ladder and we're raising these kids by ourselves, it's dangerous for us, right? Because the men need us. And as we're saying, okay, we don't want this man that's making 50 and 20, and now they don't have no worth in themselves. They're like, okay, none of y'all women want to date us now, you know? And I'm like, this is dangerous, the path we're going on for men. You know what I'm saying? It's super, super dangerous for women because now these men are feeling some type of way, you know? And men are differently. Like, I'm not saying men are more physical. Women are more mental. You know, we're taught to, like, women are taught to, like, I guess women are taught to learn a man, I guess, in a sense. But no, men are taught how to date a woman, you know? But women, right. I don't think women are taught how to deal with the man and their emotion. Like, if you think about how women, like, I teach my daughter, like, she's like, oh, she probably got her door open. But like a little boy talks to her at school and she'll roll her eyes and do all this. I said, don't do that. Don't do that. I done have friends. You cannot do that with a man's ego. Do not do those to those little boys, you know? Say, hey, I can't date right now. My mommy said this, but don't roll your eyes. Don't embarrass him in front of his friends. Like, men can't handle that type of stuff. And I think that's another thing we need to teach our daughters. I reject a lot of men, but you know what? I smile and I cheese and I laugh with them. I interact. Like, I don't put them down. I don't care what type of job you're doing. I'm going to make you feel like you are a king because I get how men's egos are. And I don't think a lot of women understand it. Even me back in the day, I used to cuss you out. A woman can tear you down with her words. We can tear you down to make you feel like nothing. Okay, we good at that. So I think women need to learn how to talk to men because it's dangerous the way we're Men need that rejection. No, I mean it's a rejection, but you
not
don't need
rude and nasty though.
Not rude and nasty. That
Not
mess
rude
with
and
anybody's
nasty.
ego.
Don't be rude and nasty though.
Chloe, think about a whole bunch of men coming to us being rude and nasty.
Yeah, no. You can turn somebody down. You ain't gotta be rude and nasty.
No, I think women need to learn how to talk to men. Like it's just
rejection, yes, but rude and nasty, that's
and a lot of women are rude now. They rude as hell.
Rude and nasty.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'm not rude to men. I smile, I cheese.
Yes, they are.
I'll flirt with everybody.
Yes.
But
yes. I mean, when you
ain't no way, boy.
But isn't it like when Vince talk about how his wife is nice and she'll be in a store, she'll talk to another guy, and then a guy will kind of holler at her. It's like, because I think dudes are surprised when they try to holler at you and you are nice. Like, I think they're like surprised. Like, I literally had a guy be like, oh, like he was almost like wasn't expecting that kind of response. Like he was bracing for something different. And I'm like, no, I don't have to be nasty to you. It's just not necessary. Plus, I don't want to be nasty because it changed my whole mood and energy. I'm not trying to do that. I'm just not trying to do that. It's not necessary. And I do agree with that. Like, I think that as women, like, we kind of lost our like softness. Like, we don't know how to be like just nice for the sake of being nice, because you get to choose to be nice. Like, you literally get to choose how you respond to an individual, and you never know what that person is going through. Like, you never know. We're all walking around here dealing with something. Every single one of us walk around here dealing with something. And you can either say something that will be encouraging or just be kind. Or you could say something that can just tear somebody completely down. And if we are seeing our younger men or men in general start to struggle to regulate their emotions, then I think that we should be given grace. Like, I think that we should be, okay, listen, I don't know this man from Adam, but I ain't gonna be nasty. Like, even if I ain't interested, I don't have to be, because he did give him credit. He worked up the nerve to come say something to me. I ain't gotta be rude about it. Like, it's not easy meeting people. Let's think about how we would feel. It's not easy meeting people these days. So I guess I just feel like we could do better. We could do better. I agree. Yeah, but some men, they struggling. It's men out here, they really struggling with this rejection. They don't like it. It's not sitting well with them, and they do not respond well. I mean, let's just think about growing up, right? I grew up in the era where if you rejected a man, even if you weren't nasty, you could have just said, nah, I'm not interested. And the next word that came out their mouth was what, Janice? B. And it's like, I wasn't even nasty about it. I just said I ain't interested. Like, why I gotta be a B now because I said I wasn't interested? Well, just think about if that's what we was getting when we were growing up, then imagine this is what men are doing now, though. And I'm not putting this on every man, but this is what we're seeing some men do now. Like, now they want to fight. They want you break up with you and then they want to come back. And I'm not saying every man is doing this, so I don't want to paint that picture. But we have seen some pretty disheartening stories recently about these types of things happening. And so I do I feel like we're in a powder keg. And I don't want to blame women for turning men into this. But at the same time, I want to say, ladies, if we are really honest with ourselves, we have not been very good facilitators of the care. Women provide, and ladies, have we really been providing the care? Have we really been providing the soft place to land? Have we really been in our nurturer role? Have we really been doing that? Or have we been so busy, a bit bitter? Have we been so busy being angry and resentful and bitter for some of the situations that happened to us in our life, right? That we had a part to play in. Have we been so busy being angry and bitter and just upset and mean that Men don't have that soft place to land anymore. Where do they go? Where do they go for that? It's not us anymore. We don't provide it. So where do they go? You know what I'm saying? And I'm just saying, ladies, like we do have to come on. We have to own that part. We are not doing that. And like Johnny said, our men need us. They need that from us. That's what we provide. And so if we're not providing that, where do they get it? Where do they get it?
Valid. Let me get this comment real fast. Shout out to Rosalind Shaw joining. I think she might be joining for the first time. Appreciate you, Roz. She said, "We can't stroke egos. It's not real. We all need our hearts sincerely massaged. That's truth." Hold on, Roz.
I'm stroking egos. I'm a stroker ego.
Oh, hold on. You know what, Roz?
I do too a little sometimes. I mean,
I'm okay with it. The grocery store man, the bagger, I'm a stroker.
What's wrong? What's wrong with stroking some ego? I got questions.
Groceries and took them to the shop, put them in the trunk for you.
What's wrong with stroking some egos? Let me go to my guy Vince. He over here sipping on this lemonade down here. Vince, do you think some egos might need to be stroked, man? What you think?
My wife and my mother-in-law has mastered the fine art of stroking a man's ego.
Oh.
My grandmother can stroke a man. My grandmother can get my grandfather to paint a whole house, and he ain't even want to paint.
Listen, it's a superpower.
Yes, it is. I mean, you
said that's flirting, man.
I could be dead set not wanting to do something, and she just know what to say or what to do or what to. All right, I do it. Just said I wasn't gonna do it. Said I wasn't gonna do it. Told I wasn't gonna do it.
Oh my God! What's Rosin said? That's flirting. I mean, that's what a woman's power is, though. Like you make a man feel good. I'm okay. If you want to call it flirting, stroking,
that's okay. You call
massaging, whatever you want to call it.
You call it that. I mean, but it's just you being in your feminine like energy, like and it doesn't have to be like overtly sexual, like over the top. Nothing. It don't even have to be that. It doesn't even have to be that. It can literally just be you. Honestly, some dudes just want a little bit of your attention. Like you stopping to talk to them for 5 minutes. You saying something nice. Them complimenting you and you actually saying, thank you. I appreciate that with a smile. Like it don't even have to be nothing crazy. I think some men are so, and this might sound bad, guys. I don't mean to make y'all sound bad, but some men are so starved for just feminine softness and attention that you don't even really have to do that much because they let's think about it. Like, let's think about this. I'm not trying to give nobody like no pass, but men get beat up on all day long. They get beat up on at work, by their boss, by life, by situations. They taking hits. And I'm just sitting here saying, like, imagine they just come across a woman and, it's been a long day, man. And, they at that grocery store and they tired and they single, but they trying to put this meal together. And then they like, I don't even know. What do I even need? I don't even know. And some woman just takes pity on them and says, what's wrong? You look like you need some help. Oh, yeah, man, I'm trying to do this. I don't even know. Oh, let me show you what you need. You need this. Don't forget, you need this and do this. And if you want it to come out right, you got to do this. And you just took like 5 minutes of your time, help this man find what he needed and tell him what he need to do. And you know what I'm saying? You just made it because he don't have that, right? He don't have it in his life. So you just gave him that. That's what we give men. That's living in our feminine energy. That's a part of it. That's living in our feminine energy. Men need that balance like we need that masculinity. Like we need that comfort from a man. Like we need that strong, feeling of security from a man. If we need those things from a man, they need the softness from us. They need the care from us. They need the nurture from us. We do those things for each other. And when a man is missing that in his life, he can get hard. He can start to struggle with handling his emotions and knowing how to direct them and how to regulate them. And I'm not putting it all on the woman's back at all, but I'm simply saying it does play a part in it. And ladies, we just don't see, some of us really don't, we're not understanding that. We're not understanding that. And our boys need it in a household. Our boys don't need us to over mother them, but they do need us to not treat them like they're the men in the house that can't leave. So we treat them any kind of way. Because the man, and I know every woman is not doing this, but some women know it, and they know it because he's the man that didn't leave and he can't leave because he needs you. You treat him like he's the man that can't leave because he needs you. And you're not. You're not being kind. You're not. You are not. You're taking care of them because you have to, but you're not. You're not being kind.
And another thing that I hate to hear is when women tell their teenage sons that they're the man of the house. I think that is so detrimental to the way they think of things because they feel like, oh, I'm a man I'm the man of the house just because I have a penis. Because they don't tell their daughters that. They don't tell their daughters they're queens of the house. And so why is your son, oh, well, you the man of the house? Well, they don't tell their daughters they're women of the house. Men shouldn't be told nothing until they paying some bills. You my son. You still a boy. You're not no man of the house. You're not protecting me. I'm protecting myself because then they go into these situations thinking, well, all I got to bring is my male part. Because my mama told me I was this and I was that when I was 15, 16. And so you get into these relationships and you're thinking, oh, well, then they don't even know how to function. They don't understand that it's their duty to provide.
Right. Yeah, that's a valid point, man. That's a valid point. And I will say this just to be on some transparent. Listen, even with things like that, you have to be, I'm not going to say strategic, but you have to be careful with how you say things, right? Like, one of the things that I tell my son, especially when I leave the house, is that you're in charge until I return, right? So you hold down the house until I get back, right? Because I want him to understand the responsibility of holding down the house when the father, the mother is not there. You make sure stuff is rolling how it's supposed to roll. Make sure you look after your little brother. Make sure he good. But hold down the house until I get back. But to your point, Vince, you know what I'm saying? He ain't paying no bills. He ain't doing none of that. So see, we shouldn't even really be putting a kid in a situation in a mindset like that because they still got to go through a maturing process. Mm-hmm. Yep. And when I said, when you try to speed it up for your own selfish reasons as the parents, that can backfire on you. So yeah, you gotta be careful doing that. But hold on one sec, Chloe. I know Johnny, I know you said you wanted to ask Vince something. You still want to ask him?
Yeah, I had a question on like the man's psyche behind stuff. I'm just trying to understand because I have a lot of friends recently who's had babies, and then these men just disappear, right? They do whatever men can be chameleons, okay? They do whatever they do to get you, and then once you get pregnant, they're gone. But that's a whole nother story, right? But I'm trying to understand the psyche behind, like, you know how you said y'all some chameleons, okay? Who is that? You got me going off topic. Who was that guy? Nick Cannon talked about that when he's trying to get the pussycat girl. He knew she was religious, and he said it. I brought out the Bible. I was praying with her. I did everything to get her, and then he got her. He did what he had to do to get her. That's what men do. But anywho, Vincent, my question is because you said something about you were there in your kids, or like when you had the kids not with your wife now, but the other one, you were like, were you like 100% co-parenting together, or you guys wasn't 100% together co-parenting together?
Well, in the beginning we were. She left me with the kids, so I had her for 2 years until she filed for divorce. But my kids left the state when they were 5 and 10. They moved to Indiana because she had a better opportunity there. So
is that because you let her move to Indiana?
Yeah.
You allowed her to?
Yeah, I did, because it was a better situation for her. She wasn't doing anything here. Her father gave her a house. It was just a better situation. And it was a calmer situation for the kids. But then I also didn't understand my worth. I felt like, I didn't have a father at all. So, I mean, my kids are very close to me and my family.
He done left too, huh?
Gross.
Did he freeze up?
That's what I'm trying to understand, the psyche of men, like letting their kids go and not fighting for the same I guess I'm just trying to understand the psyche of men letting their kids go and not fighting for the same custody rights that women have. Even though I know it's not simple. I know a lot of men that do it, and I dated a man and he go through courts on the month because he got to fight this mama every month. You know what I'm saying? But he does it, right? So I just try to understand, like, why don't men fight to be in their kid's life? He done left again. He probably got to log in and come back in.
Yeah, I think almost seem like it's wireless. Oh, there you go.
There you go. Yeah, we'll give him a minute.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
You good, man? Go ahead.
So to continue, I became the weekend, well, not necessarily the weekend, but the holiday summer dad. Kids were here every summer. As soon as they got out of school, I went and picked them up. I didn't take them back until they was going back to school. Every holiday, but I wasn't there every day physically. And I've seen the difference that they made, especially with my son. And then I was going through my thing also. I had other relationships and things of that nature. But
do you think it's because I've noticed with men, this is my thing, just going through a divorce. It seems like when y'all get in relationships, y'all can get caught up in these relationships a lot of times. And you can, it's not that you forget about your kids, but they don't become as a bigger priority. Like women get in relationships too. Don't get it twisted, right? But them kids are still, for most women, are number one, right? I know with men, when they get in relationships, that girlfriend somehow becomes super important. You know what I'm saying? Right, I'm just trying to understand the psyche behind that. I mean, I just feel like men tend. Yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I do think that my relationships affected my children because every couple years it was somebody new, and most of the time I was living. We were living together. So you bring that dynamic. It's just challenging. Because it's just challenging. So I mean, me and my sister, my daughter was just here last weekend, and I know that she feels a certain way about my daughter, and she's 33, and Jewel is 2, but I know that she feels a certain way because I'm there with Jewel every day, and I'm married to her mother, so those things affect children, and we've had conversations, and that's why I'm so passionate about us teaching our kids something different.
But did you notice it while you was going through it, or you was just very oblivious to what was going on?
I didn't notice it in my son until he started doing things, and I was like, "That's not me." How he wasn't really, because I'm a certain type of guy, and I think that as parents, we just think that they're going to learn stuff by osmosis. And certain things I didn't really teach my kids because when they were here, I was fun dad. When they were here, they might only be here a week. So we were going to the movies. We were going on vacation. They never seen me go to the bank and pay a bill. They never heard me on the phone getting upset at my employer because they didn't, I didn't get my check. They didn't really see, well, my son didn't see really how to move as a man in this world. So then when he got grown and started making certain decisions, I'm like, but I never told him. Like, for instance, he went and got a car that was way out of his price range. And I said, I wouldn't have never did that. But he said, well, Dad, you didn't really. And I thought about it. I never really talked to him about credit and about how to move as a man. So I just think that the value of men being in the home, especially emotionally, how to deal with certain situations, with his friends, with girls. Just a daily thing,
So okay, so you bring up some good points, Vince. So let me ask you this: why? Give me your real opinion. So why do you think that some of our ladies will try to convince themselves otherwise? So some of the stuff you just mentioned, this is key stuff, right? So this is the stuff that some of the fellas may miss because some of the things that you mentioned, a lot of ladies are not thinking about. This is not this type of stuff that they think about. Let me just keep it a buck. So why do you think that we would try to convince ourselves like these men are not needed in these situations?
I think that also because I'm a little older than you guys. I come from a different generation where we had our grandparents, not just our grandmama. So we come from a different feeling about family. I think you really can't be what you have not seen. I think that has a lot to do with it. My ex-wife, daddy wasn't there, granddaddy wasn't there, well, none of our mama wasn't married, aunties wasn't married, uncles wasn't about nothing. So she figured, seeing my mama do it, seeing my grandmother do it, I'm not gonna be unhappy. I'm not gonna be doing this. I'm not gonna be doing this. I can do this by myself. And that just becomes prevalent. Because because looking back on it, we were very, very young and we didn't really have the tools, but it wasn't like I was beating her in the head with a hammer. It wasn't like that we couldn't get along. We just were going through a rough patch. And she decided, you know what, I'm not gonna be unhappy. And to this day, she hasn't remarried. I'm not putting any dispersions on that, but she hasn't. I'm just gonna keep it real. She hasn't. So I think that a lot of ladies, and I think that we come from a society where don't nobody want to go through nothing. Even the great Michelle Obama said that she didn't like Barack for 10 years. And he the president of the United States. So if if you got to be the president of the United States for your wife to stick around, I don't think we got a lot of hope.
That's a good point. That's a good point. That's a good point.
I mean, come on. I mean, if you just getting upset because sex might not be good for a minute, or he ain't ambitious, and I'm just unhappy. Well, get happy. Get happy for the kids. And see, that's what we don't say. And I think we gotta teach our kids. And I've talked about kids. Even my son said, don't be out here just slanging and banging, because you want to be married in your kid's life, not baby daddy in your kid's life, because it matters. And I think once we understand that, we'll make better decisions. But this happiness thing, I just can't get with it. I mean, it can. Well, I'm unhappy. He don't take me on vacation. She ain't gonna lose no weight. She don't drop it like she used to. Well, get back to that. Take them kids over your grandmama house and go get y'all a room and try to rekindle it for the kids. I believe it. A lot of people might agree with this, but I believe in staying together for the kids. And you know why I believe that? Because most of these people will leave their relationships, leave their marriages, and still have bad relationships. It'll be different if they was leaving these marriages, having good relationships, getting married again, putting a good example in front of their kids, but they leave their husband and then go to a bum. Then have multiple bums. Or he'll leave his wife and then have multiple chicks. So my thing is, just stay with your husband. Just stay with your wife. You ain't gonna be happy no way.
That's real. Do you want to say something, Janice? I saw you throw that hand. You want to say something, or you good?
I'm good. I don't know. Like he says, I don't know. Men always say pick better. Women say pick better. Everybody say pick better. Like, what the, at this point, like, pick better. I don't know. Like, maybe, I don't know. Maybe there need to be something with women and they just withhold sex and they just get to know a man. Maybe you need to retrain.
Wait a minute.
Women.
Are you saying?
Maybe we need to retrain women how to date men and then retrain y'all how to behave.
Where the bomb at? Boom. What she just said.
And I think a lot of women are doing it now. Like, they're starting to be like, hold up, you about to date me properly now. You know what I'm saying? Which does, yes, Vince, date properly. That's what I think a lot of people are missing. We need to date properly. I need to get to know you. Okay? I need to know when you drink. I need to know when you take that shot of whiskey or scotch, who was the person I'm going to be dealing with. You know, I need to know these things. But we have sex really fast now.
We do.
So wait. Are you telling me
I agree with that.
that a possible solution is that women should be more particular with who they have sex with and the type of men that they interacting with? Is that what you're saying?
I think they just need to get to know the person a little bit better.
Yeah.
Just get to know who you're dealing with. You know, because
I think,
we all put on a little mask, women and men, when we first meet, okay? Ain't nobody burping, ain't nobody farting. You know what I'm saying?
Girl, yeah. Smell good all the time. Breath always fresh. All of that, girl. You wear good underwear all the time, just in case.
Wait.
All of it, sis. Hair always be done. Nails.
But you know what the funny thing about that is, Janice, and like I said, I'm messing with you, but the funny thing about that is like that's what we used to do. Like the solution that you just provided is for us to go back to what we used to do. Like we, I mean, sex, we slanging that around nowadays like some fast food. Like, it used to be, the dude had to put in some work before you was about to let him get some. Like, that used to be the move, but it's like now we just be slanging that around, like, and I'm just like, basically the solution is to go back to what we used to do.
I think that would help with our vetting process. Like when people say pick better, I know it's like they just saying pick better. What you supposed to do with that? But I think that's a part of it. Like we can pick better if we know people better. Like the reason why we're struggling with the picking part is because we're not really doing the full vetting. We get in, we meet a guy, we meet a girl, we like them. They do some for us. They hit one of our lists or several things on our list, and we go, okay. And then we usually, I hate to say it, but a lot of us are jumping into bed too soon. We don't really know them like that. Then we get to know them a little bit more, get a little bit more intimate. We're like, oh, I don't even like this person. I don't even like them. But imagine doing that and accidentally getting pregnant by a person that you realize, ooh, I don't even like him. That's what's happening to a lot of people. Like, because they didn't wait, because they didn't give a full amount of time to vet properly, they get, intimate quickly, and then oopsies happen, and now they got a baby coming with somebody that they actually don't even like. Like that's happening a lot, and it's like this is crazy, right? Like we moving way too fast. So when we say pick better, we should really expand on that. It means like take the time to get to know a person so you can make an educated decision on how deeply you want to get involved with this person.
And I did also think that the ladies have to ask these tough questions from the beginning. Get all into his business. I know a lot of ladies be like, well, I don't want to run him away, and I don't want. You need to know. And my thing is, if you pay attention, see, ladies try to talk that. Well, first of all, you'll know within a couple conversations if a man got a woman. Because first of all, if a man got a woman, you can't go over his house. You ain't gonna know where he live at. But my thing is, if you Google somebody. This Google and the internet is a great thing for you ladies. I don't understand how y'all getting tricked. I ain't know it was married. You put his name in there, his address, and if you don't know, and my thing is, I know some women date men and they don't even know where they live at. You've been dating them for 3 months and you don't even know where they live at.
Mm-hmm. And don't let him. Let me tell you something. Don't let him slide. I had this guy. I'm gonna say his name, Delvin. I don't know his last name, but for months he was texting every day, right? Then he just disappeared for a month. And then today he writes, good morning. You know what I said? I said, oh, we disappear and I said, because some women would be like, oh my God, he's calling me. No. So we reappear and disappear just like that. I said, just you have a good day, sir.
And that's a red flag. Exactly.
Oh, that's a big, and a lot of men do that. Yeah. They'll be love bomb you, then they leave. Like women don't, and then some women would just be like, "Oh my God, I can't believe he's writing me back again." No, you gotta we all train each other. So I don't want to sound disrespectful, like I'm training a man, but a man trains a woman trains each other. We train each other. Like you gotta train each other to what you like and what you will tolerate.
That's true.
So I got a quick question. I said, I know we'll get ready to take some clothes. I know we got to get out of here. I got a quick question. To all the ladies who are watching right now and ladies on the panel, for the ladies who had their fathers or had men around them, were your fathers or any of those men ever a part of your vetting process? Yeah, I'm just curious. You want to say something, Johnny? That's how you come off.
Well, my dad, what did he died real young, like at 50. But when I was a teenager, yeah, he was like, it was the old school. The man had to come to the house. He had to knock on the door. My dad met him. He sat in the window till I got back home. You know what I'm saying? It was the whole old school process, you know? So I don't know. I just know that lifestyle. So, I mean, I don't know. I grew up with a father, so it's hard to.
No, I'm just curious. Yeah, I'm just curious. Because I said I know we have a lot of, we got a decent amount of separated families now, right? And typically in the vetting process, you need multiple perspectives because we all understand that men can see things about other men that women cannot. And women can see things about other women that men cannot. But I just wonder how many or how much men are involved when women are vetting men. Like, do some of our ladies even know what they're looking at? Because it doesn't sound like there may not be as many men. And I think Kenyatta said no in the comment down there. But if there's not men there to help you vet men, then where does that put your odds? Go ahead.
So I was thinking about what Vince was saying, right? Because I was married for 10 years, and then I'm analyzing stuff in my head now, right? Like maybe I should have just stayed, Maybe I should just say forget my happiness. Maybe I was happy. Maybe I'm not happy. Maybe happiness is it's just not reality, or it's just here for a second, or it's gone. I always analyze things, right? So I think like even dating now, like I might meet a man, and then he might, like a lot of men at this age, no, they have erectile dysfunction. They have other issues. They have all these other issues, or they may not have enough money, or they may have young 4-year-olds. So as a woman, I'm like, well, maybe I need to learn to not worry about those things. Maybe I just need to look at like, okay, he's a good man. He's a provider. He's great with my kids. Maybe I just need to get over those other things, I guess. Maybe I got to sacrifice something.
I think the question
you're gonna sacrifice something.
Something.
Nobody.
I just don't want the erectile. I can't.
Not your non-negotiable, sis.
That's a non-negotiable, though. I can't get around that.
Which one?
I can't get around the erectile, though.
Oh,
there's pills, but I mean, I think as I'm getting older, I might just have to sacrifice something. I don't want to, but maybe I just have to, like, as long as he's a good guy, we have fun. He's great with my kids.
Well, I've seen that happiness is a feeling, and it goes and comes, just like anything else. And I can honestly say with my ex-wife, she divorced me. I was still trying to make it work because I come from marriage, and my kids ask me, they say all the time, we don't see how y'all got, because we are completely different. If you used to see my ex-wife, you'd be like, Vince. And just the way she moves and how she is and how I am. We're just totally different. I'm a Republican. She's a Democrat. I like beef. She like chicken. It's just like, I like romance. She like thriller.
Could you have made it?
Totally. Yeah. But I can honestly say that we were 14 when we met.
Yeah.
We had my daughter at 17. We was all wearing Jordans and Ashley Wash blue jeans. We weren't thinking about kids and being grown. So I can say that was a young and not prepared. But like with me and Remy, it's like I'm happy on my own. So happiness really is not a factor in our marriage. Because I got, my goal and what I want for my marriage is beyond happiness. I don't know if that makes any sense to you guys. But I don't, and we go through our things, but we vetted each other and we're really, really good friends. I'm her best friend. She's my best friend. She's my wife. She's not my partner. She's my wife and I'm her husband. And that's where and we are Jewel and Jace's parents. And that's where it's gonna always be. And we've decided there is no out. If I get mad, she go downstairs. If she get mad, I go downstairs, and we ain't going nowhere.
That's it. You gotta take it
once
off
you
the
get
table.
that mindset, a lot of stuff you just let go, you know.
Yeah.
And we're not perfect in no ways, you know.
Yeah, but I think we have to consider, and I said, just circling back to what you were saying, Janice, I think we really have to consider what is our happiness based on. Yeah, at the end of the day, happiness is temporary. Happiness is a feeling. But a lot of our happiness today is based on things that's really not even that important. Yeah, that's why cats be out here collapsing. Yeah, somebody come hit they hit their little Mercedes C-Class, that thing got to go in the shop. They be acting like they about to die. Yeah, if somebody come out here and lay somebody off, they be acting like they about to die, because see, that nonsense is their happiness. Yeah, that's what they base their happiness on. That's what they base their psyche on, is all that nonsense. That stuff that they've been fed. So you really gotta understand what your happiness is based on. Now I do gotta mess with you real quick, since you was trying to take that jab at these fellas. What you talking about, these fellas out here with all this ED? What is that?
I mean, that's just science. It's just life, fellas. It just is what it is. If you don't, it's not nothing to be like. I've worked in the medical field. A lot of my friends are nurses and doctors. Like, it's just common as you get older, especially not for all men, but if you don't take care of yourself, like if you out here drinking, smoking all day long, you out of shape, it's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? It's just part of life. You know, women out here, they get dry. Okay. It's all part of life. Okay.
That ain't what you said.
This whole conversation is.
Oh my God.
Okay.
I just personally don't want to deal with, but you know what, to be honest, I don't, this is the thing. I'm very, I like men that work out because I like to work out. So I tend to not deal with that, because men that work out usually don't have that issue, because they're kind of on the healthier
side. The blood is flowing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But when the truck driver, I'm gonna say it, you know what I'm saying? No offense, Donovan. It ain't got nothing to do with truck drivers. But he drank, he smoked all day, he ate, he didn't eat right, he was over, you know what I'm saying? He was overweight. That's what happens when you get older. You can't move like that. You know what I'm saying? You gotta take care of this body that you have. That's all I'm saying to that.
You know, I got questions, but we got to get out of here. I got questions. You just done said something. I got questions.
I just don't want Donovan coming for me, because you know he's like the truck driver union.
Donovan, come on, man.
That's a good one.
Don't be trying to mess with Donovan like that, man. We got to take some closing, man. It's almost 10:30. Let me switch it up. I'm gonna go to Vince first, Janice, then Chloe, and we're gonna get on out of here. You want to say anything before we get out of here, Vince?
No, I'll pass, because I know we late. I'll let the ladies go.
All right, cool. Let me go to Janice. You want to say anything before we get out of here, Janice?
They stupid. I just like to say, I value men. I'm changing my mindset. Some things I'm just going to take off my list, and I'm okay with that. You know, some things, but not the erectile. You can go get a pill for that. Pills fix it. But I will say this, going through a divorce and going through this process, it really taught me a lot about just appreciating a man. You know what I'm saying? Appreciating the things that I did get. You know what I'm saying? Even if he may only gave me 20%, it's better than the 0% I'm getting right now. You know what I'm saying? So I'll take that 20%, because that 20% still took off a load off me. You know what I'm saying?
I feel that. Shout out to my guy Tierra in the building checking in. He said, Lord, wait a minute, hold on, Janice. I ain't gonna let that slide by. Was that like a little breakthrough or something? What was that?
No, I've been had this. Let me tell you something. It depends if I drink wine, liquor, or beer, and how I react. So I said no wine, because I don't act right on wine. And Vincent, do I act right? Vince?
No, you don't. No, you don't.
Man, let me read this comment real.
You got a 2-drink maximum on the podcast.
Let me read this comment because I think this needs to be said. Kenyatta said, Donovan Crawford, we are wonderful this way. So she wanted to make sure.
Okay.
She want to make sure that is understood. No, we appreciate that, Kenyatta. We appreciate that. No shots taken. No shots taken.
None at all.
Are you was you all set, Johnny's?
Well, when you get a chance next time, you got to ask, what's her name? Miss Shaw, when she said a new ego stroker. I didn't know what she meant by that, but it was too late now. But she said it earlier.
I know what she meant. She was trying to take a shot because you was talking about when that new lady comes along. His attention kind of changed. That's why she's saying a new ego stroker is coming.
Listen,
that's basically what she was saying. But I caught when she said that. But shout out to Roz. I want to say it might be her first time coming on. Shout out to Roz. I said she good people. Let me go to Chloe. Would you want to say anything before we get out of here?
Yeah, like I think that first of all, shout out to Janice for her always being honest and transparent through these conversations. Very good voice to have on the panel, Vince as well. I think it's just a very good. I think it's a wealth of knowledge and varied opinions on the panel, and I hope that you guys are able to walk away with some jewels, right? Like I think each and every one of us, regardless if we're married or not, have to take a look at ourselves and say, hey, is there something I can change? Is there something I can improve? Because none of us are perfect and none of us have figured it out. Like there's some, secret that we've all kind of figured out. We're all work in progresses. So I think it's good to have these conversations and then for us to be open to hear another person's opinion about it. Because it may be something that we can change or adjust, or it may be something that we don't think of and gives us a different perspective. So I always hope that, people come to this conversation, whether they're watching it live or whether they watch it after the fact, with the open mind and understand that this is about growth, man. Like, I do believe that one big takeaway is in our relationships, we definitely need to take time to get to know each other better. I think it will just work better for us in the long run. And also just learning how to prioritize the things that are actually important. Like understand what's actually important. I think sometimes we spend too much time prioritizing things that just they don't matter as much, but we make them really important. Now that doesn't mean you shouldn't have boundaries. That doesn't mean you should have non-negotiables. You should have minimums, all of that. I'm not saying that have a standard for yourself for certain, but I think that sometimes we have to check ourselves and make sure that the standards that we have are realistic and that, we're not holding another person to a standard that we wouldn't even hold ourselves to. So that's me. That's it. I'll land.
Okay. No, I appreciate that. I said, shout out to everybody who joined us tonight. Let's say as always, we appreciate you guys. Shout out to some of the newcomers. I said Tierra in the building, Roz in the building. I'm gonna just say this real quick. I just want to ask everybody who sees this episode, who shares out this episode, who sees it after today, really put some priority around who you are procreating with and who you are in relationships with. If that is important, if that is really important for you, the person directly in the relationship, and for the children that are a product or an outcome of that relationship, it's important. Yeah, we're seeing a lot of these emotional young fellas out here. That comes from a breakdown in the family dynamic. If it's not that hard to define, that is a breakdown in the family dynamic. Yeah, but we really gotta change how we're going about doing this thing. Ladies, you can't do this on your own. Can't. If it's not going to yield the best outcome, we got to call it what it is. And fellas, step your game up. Yeah, really look at who you interacting with, who you having children with. Put some real priority around your relationships. Like, this ain't no game. This ain't no joke. Like, we seeing the outcome. This is everybody dropping balls. The ladies dropping balls, the men dropping balls. But now because of it, we losing people. We got fellas over here taking young ladies out because they can't handle their emotions. Because we was dropping balls back at the beginning of the process. So, man, to everybody, man, put some priority around what you're doing out here with these relationships and these children. Yep. Set some standards around marriage and commitment, being accountable. Those things are important. Like I said, Janice made a great point, and it really sums up where we need to go. We need to get back to how we used to do things. Yeah, we need to look at this happiness and how much priority and value we give to this happiness and actually look back at reality. Yep, and look at these situations and say, is there some stuff that, man, some stuff that I thought was a big deal that really ain't no big deal, that I can slide to the side for the betterment of me, the betterment of this man, the betterment of the kids. Like, that's real right there. I got mad respect for Janice saying that. Like, that's real. Because, see, that's when you pull off that unselfish veil that we all like to walk around with. It's those little selfish, want to tuck our head down somewhere and just be selfish. So, man, I'm going to leave it at that, man. Shout out to everybody who joined us tonight. Shout out to my guy Tierra in the building, Kenyatta in the building, Donovan in the building. Shout out to Roz in the building. That's my credit union peoples back in the day. I think that's everybody in the comments. Like I said, this is Kandid Konvos. We do this show every Wednesday night, 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. We are live on YouTube and Facebook, so definitely like, share, and subscribe. For everybody who's watching right now, hit that like button for us. Help us out with the algorithm on YouTube and Facebook, and definitely share out the show. I said we're trying to get as many people to the platform as possible to get these great conversations and this great content to as many of our people as possible. But, man, with that being said, everybody have an awesome night. Catch you guys next Wednesday.